Hello there, Bethel Park. It's me, Amy Taylor, here with a brand new edition of Healthy, Fit, and Strong. With us today, we have Renee Sullivan. Welcome, Renee.
Hi.
Renee is a former coach for the Special Olympics in ice skating, and she has a varied career with many accomplishments, and we're here to talk to her about that today. Renee?
Hi.
Where did it all begin?
Where did it all begin?
Yep.
Started on Valentine's Day. My husband said to me after I had my son, it was like 5 months old, he says, "What do you want for Valentine's Day?" And I was down in the dumps with postpartum depression. And I said to him, "Nothing. I'm happy. I love you. I have the baby. I'm good." And he went, "Come off it, Renee. What do you want?" You know, he says, I got to do something to make you happy, something special. And I'm like, he says, "There's always got to be something you've always wanted as a kid," because I grew up with not much. And he said, "There's got to be something. What is it?" And I said, "You'll laugh at me." And he says, "I'd never laugh at you." He says, "Well, what is it?" I says, "I really wanted a really good pair of ice skates." And he said, "Would you skate?" And I said, "I'd skate so much your head would spin." My husband actually had to start skating so he could see me because I was always at the rink.
Are these the same skates? No, you've been through many pairs since then.
Many pairs.
Okay.
Many pairs of skates.
And the skates that he got you to start off with were a nice pair?
They were a nice pair. We went to the Mount Lebanon rink to get a pair of skates, but they didn't have any to fit me. So we asked somebody there, and he told me to go out to Washington County to see old Mr. Young, who used to fit everybody from Karen Kadavy on to our local people that were really good skaters. And they sent me out to him. So I went out to see him, and because I have narrow heels, he squeezed me into a double A narrow. Well, I didn't have narrow feet then, and I certainly don't have them now. They're actually a little more wide than I want them to be, but I got a pair of skates. So next thing my husband says to me is, "Well, let's go get you some lessons." I said, "You're kidding, right?" He goes, "No. People do it all the time. At your age," I said, "At my age?" He goes, "Yeah, at your age, people do it all the time." I says, "Get out of here." He goes, "No, where do they have lessons?" I said, "I know Mount Lebanon has lessons." So we went out to Mount Lebanon rink, and I asked the lady to sign me up. Her name was Gwen Rosen. And I says, "Can you sign me up for lessons?" And she says, "Well, our class has already started. We're like into the third week this week." She says, "You might want to wait for the next session." I says, "No." I says, "If I don't do it now, I'll never do it." I says, "Please let me in." She goes, "Well, we'll put you in as a beginner." I says, "Well, I'm not a beginner. And she goes, "You're not." I says, "No." Little did they know, I used to skate as a kid on Southside, at the Southside rink, and crawl over the fence just to get in to skate by myself, and I got in trouble. Yes, I did. So anyway, I begged her to let me in. She goes, "Okay, I'll put you in Wednesday night." Wednesday night, I show up with a 5-month-old in tow with my husband. My husband's watching the baby. I get my skates on, and I meet my first coach, and her name is Lori. And Lori looks to me like she's about 14 years old. Lori looks at me, and she goes, "Hi, I'm Lori." And I says, "Nice to meet you." And she goes, "Okay, come on the ice." I get on the ice. She goes, "Over here we're doing marching." I said, "Marching?" She says, "Yeah, you put your feet together and you march across the ice." And I said, "I think I'm a little beyond that." She goes, "Okay, over here in the next group, we're doing swizzles, where you go like this with your feet." And I said, "No, I'm a little beyond that too." And she goes, "They said you never skated before." I said, "Or never had lessons." I said, "I never have had lessons." She says, "Huh." I says, "Can I show you what I know how to do?" And she said, "Go right ahead." So I did a 3-turn and went into back crossovers. And she looked at me, and her mouth dropped open. She went, "Oh my God." And I said, "What?" She goes, "Oh my God, you can do cross-ups." I says, "Just in one direction." Because I used to go down to Southside, and I'd skate from 9 in the morning till 9 at night on Saturday, and when Sunday, when they opened the rink, it was around like noon. I'd skate until about 5 o'clock every weekend.
So now what did your new coach or your teacher teach you?
Oh, well,
were you above her?
No.
Okay, maybe you were, I don't know.
She said to me, she goes, "You go all the way over there." So she set me on the very end of the group. There was a group of adults. If looks could kill, I think they would have pummeled me because I outskated everybody in my class, my beginner class.
They were jealous. They were jealous, yeah.
Yeah, one lady says to me, "I'm taking private lessons. That's it." I'm like, okay. I said, "How do you get private lessons?" She said, "You get a coach, you get private lessons." And I thought, bing,
Yeah, that's
a
right.
great
Next
idea.
gift from your husband. Yep.
So the next thing I did was I talked to Lori, and I says, "Do you give private lessons?" And she goes, yeah, I do. And I said, where? And she told me the 3 rinks she was at. And I said, well, could you come here early on Wednesdays and give me lessons? And she said, sure. Well, it worked out for a while, but when you're a young mom that has a baby and you get a babysitter and you make all these arrangements and you get to the rink and your coach doesn't show up, most of the time she didn't show up, except for class. So I went after, since she was a really good skater, I went after her coach.
Oh my.
Yeah, because she was a great skater. And I said, who's your coach? And she goes, Sharon Brooks. And I said, oh, who's that? She goes, well, she's like a Mr. Young, the guy in Washington County. She does skate fittings and puts blades on, sharpens, and does all that stuff. I said, well, where's she at? She goes, oh, she's in Bethel Park somewhere. And I said, oh, okay. So I'm keeping my ears open, and I'm thinking, I'm going to find her. Well, they have a used skate sale going on that Saturday at Mount Lebanon Rink. So I happened to go over there, and I met Sharon. Sharon was over there with her daughter. And she said, I said to her, my skates hurt. And she goes, they do? And she checked out my feet and everything. She says, well, they're too tight. She says, they're too tight in the balls of your feet. What happened? And I told her where I got them. She rolled her eyes and went, oh, okay. Yeah, I know. He's done this to people before. So she fit me with another pair of skates. And I says, do you give lessons? And she says, yeah, I do. I says, would you give me lessons? And she goes, well, do you have another coach? I says, well, Lori. I said, but she doesn't show up half the time. She goes, well, yeah, make sure it's all right with Lori before you take lessons with me. I said, okay. But she said she would, so I got her phone number and everything. Hence has been the relationship of Sharon Brooks and myself till this day.
Yeah.
She's still my coach. And it's been 25 years. So anytime like I'm getting rusty, like I called her this morning, I'm like, Sharon, help! And so she came down to the rink and we went through some drills and stuff. Yeah, she's always there for me. She's turned out to be my very best friend in the whole world, and yeah.
Now, how did you get involved with the Special Olympics?
Special Olympics used to take place on Saturdays at the Mount Lebanon rink, on the small rink. We have like a studio rink and a big rink. And I remember Sharon and I teaching at South Park, because I taught at South Park. I have for like the last 20 years. And Sharon was really tired. She said, oh God, I got to get up tomorrow morning. I got to teach Special Olympics. I says, do you do that? She goes, yeah, I do. I says, I always wanted to do that. She says, do you? I says, do you need help? She goes, please, I need help. I said, okay. So I went the next morning and helped her with her students, and I got to meet all the kids. Well, they're adults that are mentally disabled, so they're like children, but they're incredible. You should see these kids skate. These kids jump, they do spins, they do turns, they do all kind of things, and they have not a care in the world. They fall, whoop, they get back up. They're just so much fun. I had a ball. I just really got attached to them. And also the fact that I'm also a registered nurse and I worked in pediatrics, I just really like special kids. So I took to like a duck to water. So I've been working with them, and when Sharon started going with her daughter to her competitions, she didn't have as much time for Special Olympics anymore. So their director at the time approached me and wanted to know if I would be their head coach.
Oh.
And I said, sure. So I ended up being the head coach, and I would go to Johnstown with them for their winter games. For the last 5 years that they had the program before it went out of favor, I was the head coach of Special Olympics for Allegheny County.
For how many years?
5.
Wow. How rewarding of a feeling that must have been.
It was insanely
to take
great.
these little ducklings, so to speak, and take them through
it was
the journey.
great. And then I would meet the other teams from the other counties, and their instructors had us work with everybody. So they would want certain ones to work with me because I did certain things, and I do things really silly. I'm a really silly coach. I do stupid things to make you remember things. And most of the time my students end up laughing at me. So, yeah.
But it was a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. And then I make differences in kids' lives, whether they're special or whether, like I had one student, she had an eating disorder really bad, and I helped turn her around, and I got her into the ice show and everything, and she was a different person.
You totally changed her life.
I did.
And you brought along some accoutrements,
Oh,
some shows and tells.
Well, okay.
I would love for you to brag about some of it.
This is my certificate that tells you all the dances that I passed at one time.
Wow.
Within 1 year.
Swing dance, cha-cha, Dutch waltz, tango.
Canasta tango, the rhythm blues, and the preliminary moves in the field.
I couldn't do one of them.
Well,
not on land.
and as a result of that, these are my certificates for all that. And these are some of my test scores from when I was testing, because you have to be that good on a certain day against a book. There are certain standards you may need to maintain in order to pass a test or get supreme or whatever when you're trying to accomplish something and get credentialed. You have to precisely do certain moves. If you don't do them right, you get like needs to retest, fail. But of course on here you see pass, and then there's a couple comments. There's good on this, and then there's another one that says that my curves were a little bit flat, so that's something I needed to work on. So, and they would do that. But when you compete, it's different. I'm a better competitor than I am a tester. I'm so nervous when I go out to test. I'm like this. But when I go out to compete, I just have to be the best that day, that time in history, in that element.
How do you find your focus whenever you compete?
I go out and I skate for people.
Like give me an example.
I do it because people love skaters. It makes them happy. They love to watch me skate.
Yeah, it is quite joyful.
And I go out and skate, and I just have fun when I'm skating out there. I'm not nervous or anything. I just go out there and I do my thing. Because when I go out there for a competition, I'm like, oh, I'm just practicing, and I'm going out there and I'm skating for all these people that are watching me.
And you have medals and trophies to prove your achievements?
This little trophy is what was given to me after they took back the big trophy. They have a adult test trophy for the Pittsburgh Figure Skating Club, which I did belong to for a while, and that's what I did all this. And I got this big trophy, and my name is engraved on it for the year of 2001 for the adult to pass the most tests that year. So I got to keep the brass and wood plaque trophy for a year, and then they came and took it away, and then they gave me this.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I still have something.
Yes. Where do you keep that? On your mantle?
No, it's
Bookshelf?
in a curio case.
In your curio case,
And then these are, in 2013, I competed in my first ever competition, and I went to Ohio, and I competed for the ISI. The ISI is more of a recreational figure skating club,
Right.
and it's for a lot of recreational skaters who get beyond recreational skating, and they can do jumps and they can do spins and they can, and adults, and you can
Like
compete
you on your
in
first day of
figures.
class.
Yeah.
You can do the jumps, you can do the spins.
Oh, I couldn't jump. I went out and I tried a competition for the ISI, the Ice Skating Institute, and I passed figures and I passed freestyle. They're not real high up there, but I got the gold medal for my figures, and I got the gold medal for my freestyle.
And you have some pictures here of you and your family on the ice.
Well, that's when my son was a little guy. We put him on the ice at 18 months old. Actually, my husband, much to his chagrin, is my ice dance partner.
No, I didn't know that. Rich is your ice dance
Yes,
partner?
he is.
How do I get tickets to see this show?
We've skated at South Park Rink when they have their ice shows at the end of the year.
You just let me know where and
And
when,
one year
and I'm there.
one year he did it in Lederhosen. It was hysterical. We were doing The Sound of Music.
Are they doing one this year?
Yeah, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, so we'll look up when it is.
Well, I don't know. I'm not in it because I have not.
Okay.
I just got right back into my skating because I haven't been skating for a while.
Okay.
You know how you get burned out of something?
Yeah. Well, COVID too.
Yeah, and it was hard to skate because it was hard to find ice.
Yeah.
And now I find ice, it's like $20 a pop to go skate for a half hour, an hour. And then you need your coach because you don't know what you're doing wrong and don't know what you're doing right. And if you something isn't right, you just have to, and she's the eyes.
And your coach, you say, is your best friend.
Yeah, she is.
That's so sweet.
Everybody knows her. Her name is Sharon Brooks, and she is around Bethel Park everywhere. She is the skate lady. She's fit everybody with skates that I know.
She sharpened my
everything.
skates.
Yep, blades, everything, and she's a good egg. She's a good person.
Now, you brought some skates with you today.
I did.
Show us a skate and what makes your skate so special.
My skates are not special.
Well, they're better than my skates. You laughed at my skates when you saw them. You said you're going to skate on those.
You're going to break your neck.
What do I know? What do I know? We're here to educate people.
If you look at people, if you look at a really good skate.
Honestly, I thought my skates were good.
This is an Idea. These are made in Italy, and these. If you feel this here, this is real hard. And it's really cushy, so you don't bend your ankles in half.
Oh yeah, it's good support,
It's very good support.
and it's a beautiful skate with the
Yeah, I
diamonds
think
and
so.
everything. Mine doesn't have the diamonds.
Skates, you have to treat your feet as if they're the most important part of your body when you're a skater, because you don't want to have corns and bunions and things, and you want them to fit well.
Can a
Skates,
good skate that fits well prevent corns and bunions?
yeah,
Okay.
it'll keep you from getting injured and hurt. Figure skates run 1 to 2 sizes bigger than your street shoes.
Interesting.
So most people are in the wrong size skate.
Yeah, because I would get the size shoe that I wear.
A lot of times people don't open their skates up all the way down either.
No, it's
when
too
they
much
put their
work.
foot in there. You have to open your skate all the way down and put your foot in sideways to get your foot in the skate, and then you have to make sure your heel is to the back of the skate. So you should fit like this, toe to heel. And you should be able to move your toes up and down, but not side to side.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah, you yelled at me the first time you saw my skates. You're like, first
When-
off, not good skates.
When
Second
you
off,
lace up
ill-fitting.
a skate, like
And
there's,
third, I laced it up wrong.
there's certain areas you have to pay attention to, like down here. You don't want to make your skates really tight around your toes. Your toes have to be your balance and have to help you move. You want it more toward this part of the skate to be snug and in through the ankle. Up here you want it loose, because if you ever try to bend your knees and your skates are too tight up here, you're not going to be able to do it, and you're going to get a sharp pain down the inner side of your thigh down
Yeah.
to your calf. So it's
I
a
find that
science.
fascinating
with
because
skates.
who knows? When
Nobody
we go
does.
to the skate rink, you go up, they say, what size skate do you want? You say the size of your shoe, and they hand it to you.
Like I see parents struggling all the time with skates, and I'll say, "Can I help you?" Or I'll sit down and I'll say, "I'm one of the coaches," and then I'll have them put their foot on me, and then I show them this way, so that they're looking at what I'm looking and I'm showing them how to tighten.
Right,
Another thing is if you have one of these really stubborn pair of skates that can't tighten well, you want to get a hook,
What's the hook for?
metal, tighten your skates up.
Show us.
You pull your laces up.
Oh.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to do it. Most of the time I don't. I don't need a hook.
But you carry it around just in case. Plus, you look cool.
Cool. You want to always put your skates in soakers too.
What's that mean?
Like you never want to put your skates in the guards, the things you walk on, because water gets trapped in those, and then you end up with rust on your blades, and that's really bad.
Oh.
Yeah. So you want something cushy like this, or like terry, that will absorb all the moisture here, because when you take these from outside to inside, your blades are going to sweat.
How much does one of those go for?
I buy my blades and my skates separate.
Why?
This is
You-
not an
you-
expensive pair of blades, but this is about a $300 or $400 pair of blades, and the boots are about $600.
The boots are 600 and the blades are 300 or 400. So you're looking at $1,000 right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more expensive than my skates are. I paid about $40, and I thought mine were expensive. No, they were not $1,000.
I actually have 2 more pair of these at home, so. I have a pair for sale that are a wristport pair with my favorite blades on them.
And how much are they?
I would want $500 for those, but those are my blades. My favorite blades run about $700 a pair.
Are they trick blades? Like if you put them on, you can automatically do like a
No,
triple axle? No.
they're MK Gold Stars, and I love those. They
Special occasion only.
No, they feel like you're skating on glass. That's why. Each skate feels different. Like this is a freestyle blade. You can tell because it has a tail on it this way. It has a rock, and I prefer more of a rock on my blade. Some blades are more straight. The John Wilson blades are more straight.
And what do you mean by it has a rock?
It has a curve.
Has an arc, okay.
Has a curve. And it has a 7-foot diameter radius when you, yeah. And this has a jumping pick on it.
Put your toe down, jump.
Right.
Okay.
It's a jumping pick. Ice dance blades, which I also adore, are about this short. Like if you take the rest of the tail off, they come to about here, the heel. And there's a very little tiny pick here. And
Why
they have
so?
more of a rock, so you don't trip your partner.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. And then you've also seen the speed skating blades. My son was a competitive speed skater for a while, and his blades were this long. And he trained with John Henry Kruger, who's in the Olympics now, who got the silver last Olympics in Pyeongchang. And he's there now skating for Hungary instead of the United States. So John Henry, he's doing great.
Are you watching the Olympics currently?
Of course.
Of course you are. Probably
I'm
every
watching
moment.
every skating thing that's on. Yes, of course. I mean, there's things I don't understand why they're doing things.
That was
the
going to
way
be my
they
next
are.
question. Do you
Like
understand all what they're doing?
why did
Oh,
they
because they
send
make a mistake.
Jason Brown to the Olympics when we had somebody else who had his quad? Jason Brown doesn't have his quad.
What does a quad mean?
Quad jump, 4 revolutions in the air, and now they're having there is a Russian skater. She's 15. She does quad jumps. She does 4 revolutions each time she jumps. And I'm really against that. I don't think women should be doing quads because women have babies and everything, and you don't want to get them all messed up. You know, it's just
I understand. Okay.
women are.
Well, why didn't we send this kid in if he could do a quad jump or a quad?
I don't know because they figured he was young and he still needed his dues to pay. Probably.
Did you ever see the movie Blades of Glory?
Yes.
Okay. What's your thoughts about that movie when they're like the moves that they did?
Hysterical.
Was it really? Were they really doing the moves?
Yes.
So they were real moves.
Yeah.
Were the ice skates that they wore
Real
like
ice
the
skates.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do I
Actually,
know?
I met the one that was the blonde. I met him at one of the Comic-Cons. And I asked him, did you take skating lessons? He says, yeah, he did.
Really?
Yeah, he was one of the Mormon kids. He was from Salt Lake. Yeah.
Because at the very end, when they start walking on their skates like miles, I just cringe. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
ruined your
you would have
skates.
my head on a platter if I did that.
Yeah. You don't want to go on anything that isn't like a covered surface with your blades because you'll ruin them.
And the first time I showed up to take a lesson with you, you were like, first off, you got to sharpen those blades.
Oh,
Second off, you got to
were
tighten
skating
those
on
laces.
curtain rods.
You
Curtain
said that.
rods.
What do I know? That's why I come to you, the professional. You guide me.
Yeah. I
guide
like to
me.
do it though. It's
Do you
good.
still do the lessons?
Yeah. It's good for the soul.
You do the lessons at South Park.
Yeah.
So if people came to South Park Ice Rink, they could take lessons from you.
Yeah.
By request only.
They can call me.
Perfect.
724-518-0988.
We'll put your number at the bottom of the screen.
There you go.
Now, you also came with this really, really cool jacket.
Oh.
And hold on a second, because I'm just going to bow down before this jacket. This is everything. This jacket is everything. I am so excited to show the viewers at home this jacket.
This jacket is one of my prized possessions.
And it couldn't be in the curio, right? Where do you keep it?
No, I keep it folded up in a plastic container in my linen closet. That's where I keep it.
I would picture it like hung on the wall. Like
I need to put it. I need to put it in a frame. However,
Yes.
I need to have a double-sided frame because there's stuff on the back.
Show the viewers at home this magnificent
All right,
piece.
this
The
jacket
one of a kind.
I bought this jacket when I went to Nationals to see the skating
Right.
when they were here in Pittsburgh. In like the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. And everybody that's anybody was there. If I could get a hold of them, I got them and got them to sign my jacket.
Is that a real skating jacket?
It's a real skating
Your
jacket.
skating
It's
jacket.
my skating jacket.
Did you take it off and say, hey?
No, I left it on and said sign.
Really?
Yeah, I turned first. The signature I got was the great Russian coach Tatiana Tarasova across the back. And I handed her a marker and I said, "Could you sign it?" I turned around and I pulled my hair up and I went sign, and she signed it. It was a blast. I walked around and met so many skaters.
Give us some other names that are on there.
Well, a bunch. Okay, these are.
This
I'm
is
very
amazing.
proud of these because I saw him as he was walking out of the arena, and I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Button, would you be kind enough to sign my jacket?" And he said, "Why, sure." And he signed it right here. And I says, "I have a spot for you, right next to Peggy Fleming, because they always did newscasting together with the skating.
Yeah.
They always did that together." So I said, "I saved this spot for you for next to
Now,
Peggy
forgive
Fleming."
me. Peggy Fleming, obviously famous figure skater.
Gold medalist.
Gold medalist.
And Dick
But who's
Button.
he? I don't know him.
He's a gold
Don't
medalist.
judge me. I don't know. The viewers at
Oh
home
my
might
God!
not know.
The great
Okay.
Dick Button. He
So they're
landed
all-
the
they're both
first
gold
double
medalists.
axel in competition, and he won a gold medal for the Olympics too.
And they're both singles, right? Not
Yeah.
duet. Okay.
Yeah,
not
singles.
partner.
So I have a lot of Russian skaters on here, and I have some of the up and comings that we had. If I could read them, I would read them off to you, but I can't.
That is just a fabulous piece.
Some Canadians and things.
I could borrow it
I
on
used to be
weekends?
able to wear it. You can wear it; it'll probably fit you. It used to
So
fit me.
kind. You're so kind.
When you get older, you become a little roly-poly like I am, and that's what happened.
Now, Renee, I want to talk to you also about your struggles with MS.
Oh yeah.
You were diagnosed with MS how long ago?
I got diagnosed with MS 3 months after I got married in 1994.
Oh.
And I felt like a damaged bride.
And how did that affect your skating?
I didn't skate then.
Okay.
I was depressed.
Okay.
Okay. So I married, and My son was born, let's see, 3 years after that, but I didn't start skating till after he was like 5 months old.
And how has the MS affected your skating?
My MS has not affected my skating. I have affected my MS.
And talk to us about that.
Well, I went after what I loved.
Your
I
passion.
figured there's something I had to do for myself to keep me fit, to keep me healthy, something I loved. When you have when you have to confront a disease like this, it's not fun, and you have to find something. You've got to pull something out from somewhere, and you've got to find something that makes you happy. And I don't care what it is. If it's coloring books, I don't care. You've got to find something that makes you happy, and I always loved skating. Also, being a nurse, I knew I would lose my fine motor movements. I'd lose my balance. I'd lose just different things, and my legs might get shot, because most people with MS, their legs are not strong. Well, I have the strongest legs. I'm more strong in my legs than I am my upper arms. I have maintained my balance. I can spin. I can jump. I need to do single jumps. I'm a very good beginner to intermediate coach. That's what I did.
So skating has actually helped your MS?
Yes. I haven't had a flare-up since 1995.
Wow.
And it's God, not me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful story.
Yeah, so I went and I would skate nearly every day, and then I cut it down to like 3 days a week. But I actually wanted to test, and I wanted to get credentials, and I wanted to be a coach, you know.
I read
teach
somewhere
kids.
online that you call your MS
Must skate.
skate.
That came from my older brother.
And that is just a darling little phrase. Must skate.
Yeah.
Must skate to beat the MS.
Yeah. My older brother was asked by somebody, does your sister have MS? He goes, yeah, must skate. That's
love it.
how that came to be.
I love it
But I
so
always
much.
felt it was good for your soul. Everybody should learn to skate.
Yeah. And you also decorate, design
Skating dresses.
costumes.
Skating
Your own,
dresses.
others?
Well, I did. I decorated my own dresses. I decorated ones for other people.
And that's all that fun.
It's fun.
Yeah. What would you say is your crowning achievement? Everything that you've done, what would you say?
2 gold medals.
The 2 gold medals are your crowning achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and the kids I always taught, and the kids that would bring me medals.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully now that COVID is wearing down a
Yeah.
little bit, you know, everybody can get back to doing something that they love, a
Yeah.
hobby, maybe ice skating,
Yeah.
or getting back to a sense of normalcy.
You got to find something that makes you happy, even if it's
right.
knitting or drawing or art or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah, something you have to do something just for you.
Yeah. If only everybody took the same approach as you do, that, you know, you can conquer anything when you put your mind
Well,
to
I
it.
refuse to lay down and die. I won't do it. And if I have to crawl out of the house on bloody elbows if I can't walk, I'm going to do it. So that's just the way I am.
Wonderful. And maybe we've encouraged some people here today, must skate or maybe must live. Because we have to keep on persevering. We have to keep moving forward with our life. We can't let things like COVID or illnesses, diseases, you know, get the best of us. We
Right.
have to keep on fighting.
Yeah, you got to
And-
throw it in the back seat. Leave it there.
You are so brave. You are so powerful. You have put forth a
Thanks.
wonderful message to everybody today. And I hope that everybody at home is inspired by her words. If you're interested in taking lessons from Renee, we're going to put her information here on the screen. You have certainly inspired me today.
When are you going to skate again?
Yeah, I don't like the cold. I don't like the cold.
Oh, too
But
bad.
I'll come back soon.
Just bundle up.
I'll come back soon. Now that I got the blades sharpened, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Blades of
We're going to
glory,
get you a
here I
better
come.
skate. Better
A
skate.
better skate.
I don't want you breaking your ankle like I broke mine.
Renee, it's been my pleasure to have you here today. From all of us here at Bethel Park, we have Healthy, Fit, and Strong, Amy Taylor, saying thank you and must live, must skate.